Most of you have not realized that or you must not realize it, because you give a lot of attention to things. You practice the vibration of things. You foster beliefs about things that we know and you know you don't want. But because they are facts, or because they are reality, you feel obligated or committed to be objective. It's true. Therefore, I will give my attention to it. I will beat the drum of this truth. And we say that's really a good idea if it's a truth that you want law of attraction to flesh out in your experience in more vivid detail. But if it's a truth that you would rather not live, then why not decide for it not to be active in your vibration? So how might you go about deactivating unwanted beliefs? Stop giving them airtime. They'll peter out in time. In other words, nothing will continue to be active in your vibration when you have lack of attention to it. That's what Jesus meant when he said, turn the other cheek. Give your attention to wanted, practice the vibration of wanted, law of attraction will respond to that. And that is primarily what you will be living, you see. Now, all of this is familiar to you, isn't it? If you've been listening to us for a while, have you? Do you know that you are the creator of your own reality? Do you know that you are a vibrational being? And that it is through your vibrational beingness that you are the creator, attractor of your own reality? Do you believe that you have control over your vibration? Conceptually. You know that it is possible. Do you believe that you are predominantly practicing control of your own vibration? We think you are predominantly, but we know you are here for fine-tuning, and we are too. So we're continually finding new ways of explaining to you how it is that you could more easily, with more flow, more chronically, more steadily, more often, and therefore more joyfully, be the creator of your own experience. Since you've been listening to us for a while, and we can feel the clarity of who you are, we're going to make this opening short. This short, in fact. And we're going to open this conversation to the things that you really want to talk about. We're going to remind you of this one really important thing. And that is, everything that you speak about while you are speaking about it is practicing a vibration of it. And sometimes in the expressing of a problem or a question or an issue, you're actually practicing the vibration of the absence of what you want, because the problem is a different vibration than the solution. The question is a different vibration than the answer. So sometimes, in fact, often, in fact, every single time, you're going to find us interrupting you, climbing all over your words, trying to distract you from where you think you want to go. Not because we don't want you to go there in posing the question, because there's a lot of bounce that we all get out of that, but because we don't want you to make a career out of the problem vibration. In other words, you can speak it short. You don't have to speak it and justify it. We all get it. In other words, the more you explain how you think you got to this problem place, the harder it is for us to bring you into the solution. And that's true not just when you're in this forum. It's true all the time. The less airtime you give to the problem, the faster the solution will come to you. Your children have trained you because you ask them to do something and they don't do it. You ask them again and they don't do it. And so you've developed patterns of believing that you have to stay after it like a dog on a bone. I will continue to wring this problem's neck until Abraham squirts out the answer. And we say, it isn't like that at all. It isn't like that at all, because we've been squirting out the answer for quite a long time. The universe is squirting out the answer. You are surrounded by squirted out answers and solutions. They are everywhere around you. But when you beat the drum of the problem, you are vibrationally blind to the solution. It's just the way it is, you see. So we're eager to visit with you about anything that is important to you. Do not worry about us. We will wedge our message in the crack. We have all kinds of new things that we want to talk with you about today. Things that you know that you've forgotten, and some things that you have never known that you will now know. This is going to be a day of movement in your vibrational beingness. Yeah. So, what do you want to talk about? You've come with some things. Good for you. Really, really good. Take it easy and trust that whatever it is, we'll talk about fully. You see, as we've been talking about this emotional scale, and let's say you're in depression, that's a real exaggeration. And if you're in depression or discouragement or grief or fear, then a little anger or frustration is moving in the right direction, isn't it? And so sometimes the inspiration that you're feeling is moving you up the emotional scale. But we want to talk about what inspiration really is. Inspiration is momentum. Think about that. So you're really going to like this. So let's say that you want something, and like our friend before, you haven't been exactly practicing the pure vibration of that, so you're not owning that yet. That's not the chronic vibration within you. So the more you think about the thoughts that make you feel that way, rather than just getting off the subject altogether, the more you give attention to it, and that's where it is. The more you give attention to it, and that's where it is. The more you give attention to it, and that's where it is, the more momentum picks up until you feel compelled to act. So the question isn't, did I get inspiration? Yeah, you did. The question is, from which disc did the inspiration come? That's a new insight that you have not understood before. It's sort of like a friend was talking in the hot seat the other day about his behavior in traffic, and how the more he focused, the more the momentum goes, until he's shouting at people he doesn't even know in traffic and feeling inspired to do so. So the inspiration is just the momentum, you see, where we know that you think that inspiration is always coming from source, and we say, in essence, it is, because it's pulling you upward, 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 upward. In other words, there isn't anything like getting momentum going on what you don't want. There isn't anything better in the fact of getting momentum going on something you don't want than that it shoots off rockets of desires, which gets more momentum going about what you do want. So there's this momentum in the vibration of what you really want, and there's this momentum of where you are. And whatever vibration you're focused upon is what momentum is being called from you. Did that make sense? It's a little jumbled. We'll say it again. Whatever you are giving your attention to is where the current active vibration is within you. And the longer you hold your attention upon that, the more momentum will be there. That's why we say, get out ahead of it. That's why we want you to go to bed at night and to think about tomorrow being a really good day. It's why we want you to wake up in the morning and focus upon what a nice day it is, with the effort being to keep that momentum going. And then we want you to be aware of what disc you might dip to, so that if you do take a dip, that you catch it in the early subtle stages within 17 seconds, so that you don't let that momentum get going. But for most of you, you haven't been aware of these emotional grid discs, and you haven't been aware of the momentum that you may have going. Don't you have those experiences where there's something that's just stuck in your vibrational craw? It's like an issue that you've got going on, and you find yourself thinking about it quite often and speaking about it quite often, and others around you speaking about it quite often, and it's because that's where you reside a good deal of the time. Well, it does not have to be that way. You could start doing a better job of choosing higher vibrational discs early in the day, and you could train yourself over a period of about 30 days into mostly being right there. And we want to say to you, whatever it is you've got going on, that's who's jumping on with you. In other words, you're moving through life. You've chosen for this moment in time what grid disc you're on, what spinning point of attraction you're on. And as you're moving through the world, those around you in your vicinity who match where you are jumping on with you. Those are the waiters you're meeting. Those are the people that check you into hotels that you're meeting. Those are the people that are giving your airline reservations. Those are the strangers and friends. Those are the thoughts from families and lovers. Those are the ideas out of your own mind that are jumping on. In other words, what's jumping on always matches what you've chosen. So to talk about what to do after you've chosen it and after you've got the momentum going is kind of like the long, slow, hard way of going about it. A much faster way of going about it is pick a disc. And if I find myself on a lower disc, take a nap. And when I wake up, pick a disc. And if I find myself on a lower disc, take a nap. And when I wake up, pick a disc. And if I find myself on a lower disc, take a nap. Or meditate, or do anything that I can to help me pick a disc. Pick a disc. This is what getting out ahead of it is. Pick the disc first. Give it everything you've got. Watch what law of attraction yields to you. And then you might very well find yourself in another step one moment where you're launching another rocket of desire, where you're creating another vortex version of what you want. So all day long, this is what we want you to think about. What disc have I chosen? What disc have I chosen? And what momentum is ensuing? Once you get the hang of this, Esther has been really enjoying this process because in getting ready for you, she always does her best to get a good night's sleep and meditates in the morning and does some processes, list of positive aspects, rampages of appreciation. She works deliberately to make sure that she's in the best possible vicinity of Abraham's vibration so that she can do the best job of translating for all of you. And since we've been playing this game of choosing the disc, she's doing such a good job of choosing her discs that she's not needing the meditation process to bring herself up because the momentum is already there. Life is giving it to her. In other words, it just goes from good to better, good to better, good to better, good to better, good to better. And occasionally there's a dip, but it's rare these days that within 17 seconds she doesn't realize, oh, didn't mean that, didn't mean that. Because in the first 17 seconds, you can jump right off that disc and laugh on your way off. Yeah. So I want to just briefly express to you what kinds of things happen to you when you are, for a period of time, in vibrational alignment with who you really are on that high-flying disc. Ideas of clarity begin flowing to you that feel almost as if they are coming from somewhere else. It feels like someone who cares about you is blending with you and giving you impulses that are different from the impulses that you might have been choosing, but they're impulses that are not controversial to you. They're not confusing to you. There's no should I or shouldn't I. You begin to feel a certainty about things that is what it feels like when you are consistently in alignment. It's not like those that you've known all of your life who just like a dog on a bone get hold of something and don't let go of it. It's a feeling of certainty that comes over you that you just know that if you follow through with this idea as it is flowing, that everything about it will go well. It's alignment is really what we're talking about. It's aligning with the highest part of that which you are and with the highest part of that which you have asked for. As we've been visiting over these hours that we've been together, everything that we have contributed, and for the most part, everything that you've contributed, has added to this higher frequency vibration. We don't want you to ever worry about dipping from it because the truth of it is, friends, you cannot go back. You can't touch an understanding, even if you can't maintain it. You cannot touch an understanding like you have done here today and ever not benefit by that understanding again. In other words, you've moved to a new place and everything about your life experience is going to reflect that change, even if you don't maintain it even all of this day. Esther and Jerry always teased that they should maybe put on the disclaimer that you signed, the one that lets you know that it's going to be recorded and that maybe it will be used for other things, that maybe they also should put in there, you're going to reach vibrational frequencies that you cannot go back from. that you're going to learn things that you're not ever going to